Lads, welcome back to Bar to the Cards. If you are watching this on YouTube, then you know that it's still on YouTube. It's not going anywhere. But you may have noticed that this is also now available on Spotify. We've partnered kind of with a company called Anchor. You'll hear about them in a little bit. But yeah, we have a podcast now that's available through Spotify. So if you don't want to help my YouTube algorithm, you can help us on Spotify as well. So check those out. Links are in the description for everything, as always. Today we're talking, it's budget month. Budget month!
Budget!
And obviously Lucas is here.
So,
budget month. What a month. We've gone over so much budget stuff. And today we have a guest, which we will get to here momentarily.
Yeah.
But we wanted to talk to you guys about a little bit about budget month and the importance of everything that we talked about this month. So we've had some good ones. We had the deck profile, Goki.
Yeah.
And that Goki list is wild.
It really is. Like
we just put some spice on it.
It just throws everything at you and then just says, "Oh, by the way, I'm Goki and I play traps."
Yeah, I got Powerload Ogre and I don't care about Torrential Tribute.
Yeah.
The deck actually is insane. I got to showcase it on our guest's
channel
live stream the other day. Yeah, he has a YouTube channel and all his links are going to be in the description.
Yeah,
but
we'll explain it all once we get to the past.
Oh yeah. So we're recording this after we've done the interview because we're professionals.
And it was just easier for us.
Yeah, that way we kind of knew like what to talk about in our intro, so it made it easier for you guys to digest and follow along.
Yeah.
So
we mainly talked about things like the structure decks.
We talked about structure decks a lot. We talked about budget options like Dino Mist, Magispector, I think was one we talked about. Like Crusadia.
Pendulum overall.
Pendulum. There was a lot of Pendulum conversation for budget players. And why didn't I think of Pendulum?
I don't know why you didn't think of Pendulum.
Yes, I'm a disappointment. I'm a disgrace.
Yeah, yes, Goki is super cheap, but like all the good Magician Pendulum cards are less than $1.
And we probably could have figured out a $50 Pendulum.
Oh,
list.
Absolutely we could have.
We easily could have, and I'm just a disgrace.
Well, actually, it might have been a little harder because like the good search cards for all those are way more expensive.
Maybe. I think we probably could have figured out $50 for it, but it would have just been main and extra. I don't think it would have had a side deck.
Yeah.
And that was the cool thing about Goki was that it was just $50 for the whole thing.
Yeah.
And this is coming out. I think this is going to be released around the same time as the How to Yu-Gi-Oh!
I believe it is.
On Spotify, it'll be available a little sooner. So this should be coming out on Spotify the same day as How to Yu-Gi-Oh! Budget Player's Guide. If you're watching this on YouTube, this came out
a day or two
after, so it comes out the Friday after. So this will be on like April 2nd. So it's what a wild month.
Oh,
we put so much into this month.
We have both also been trying to build and play more budgety than full out money.
Yeah,
because we
fiddled with Drytron, which is super cheap now.
Yeah, right now
that's
it is
under $100 deck.
I was messing with Endymion just because I thought it was fun. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's not exceedingly more than other decks.
No, it's still probably $100 for the whole thing.
I mean, we talked about how I played Time Thieves on the
part
of it, and Time Thieves are super cheap.
He talked about Nordic Pendulum.
Nordic Pendulum.
That was super cool. Like, I actually look forward to checking that list out. This was a really, really awesome conversation with a legit friend of mine. And Crono is just such a nice dude.
Yeah.
And we're kindred spirits. Like, in that respect, we are kindred spirits because he helps kids, and I think that's super awesome. And I help new players.
Yeah.
We help new players.
Well, in all honesty, we both do very similar things because, yes, children overall, we want to get into the game, but anyone that we want to get into the game, we will happily help them get in.
Yeah.
It's just that we aren't at a place where normally, like, tiny children, like he would have at elementary to middle school, come in. We normally have high school, college kids, but if they're wanting to get into the game, we're more than happy to help them.
And that's why we created the budget decks that we've created.
Yeah, and I think we'll continue doing that. $15 budget decks are always going to be nice for people.
They're a hit, and our bulk boxes have been doing pretty well, too.
Yeah,
like,
they have.
And this is just like a business come to thing, but like, and now we're just devolving into that.
Yeah. Anyway,
congratulations, we're talking business, mother.
But anyway, with budget, there's a bunch of fun things that you can build, but I think we need to just shoot this to us in the past who talked about it for a good while.
Right, yeah, we will definitely pass it over to them in just a minute, but we wanted to hear from you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave comments below. If you're listening to this on Spotify or any other streaming service that,
does streaming stuff,
that does podcasts, then make sure to check it out. The link to the Twitter, and just send me a message or tweet it at me. I don't care. Do you guys want to see more podcasts from us? Do you want to see more than just Bard of the Cards? Now, Bard of the Cards is going to be highly informative. It's going to almost always, it's always going to be sponsoring Yu-Gi-Oh! But it's going to potentially have more content creators in. I'm going to try to get other creators in here with us.
Yeah.
Because I think that it opens up a whole new conversation, and it lets you guys kind of get to know these people behind the curtain, which was the original ploy.
Yeah, it was the original goal.
Cards. But would you like to see other podcasts like us reviewing anime or manga or movies or whatever? Would you like to hear us just shooting the breeze, talking about business and how to operate a locals? What do you want to see? Do you want to see more stuff like that? Do you want to learn more about the inner workings of Fusion YGO and all that stuff? Do you want to see the behind the scenes? Do I need to set up a video camera to record us doing these interviews with people for Bard of the Cards? Like, what do you guys want to see? We want to provide better content for you guys. I think we provide very informative content. I think we do a very good job of giving you guys information and things that are useful as new, returning, or what have you players. But what more would you like? What else can we do to better entertain you?
Yeah, what works with the informative and what things don't, to where you guys are more entertained and more willing to listen to that informative content.
Because that's one of the cool things about the channel is that we listen and we're small enough that we don't care. We'll throw caution to the wind.
Like if 3 people tell us, hey, you guys need to do more of X thing, we'll probably try it.
Probably. All right, so we're going to pass it over to the past. Our guest is Crono37. Make sure to check out his links, like I say, 1,000,000 times throughout the podcast.
This is also the first time that we did a Discord version.
Yeah, this was really, the audio came out really good.
It worked very well, but just so you guys know, you won't be seeing any of us during this because it is all through Discord.
Yeah, so maybe I'll record some duels and stuff through EDO Pro or something, and we'll throw it in the background
that would be cool.
YouTube. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no. Make your Goki on EDO Pro and do that.
Yeah, it'll just be Goki playthroughs. Oh God, that's going to be
okay, we need to cut that part out.
It's going to be a lot. No, just leave it in. It's fine. It's a podcast.
But yeah, we'll toss this back to past us. All right. Have fun, guys.
Yeah. All right, so we're here today. Obviously, Lucas.
What's up?
And we are joined today by Crono37. All of his links and stuff will be in the description, whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it through your multitude of streaming and podcasting sites. Crono, welcome to Bard of the Cards.
Excited to be here. You do a great job with your content, guys, and I'm honored to be on as a guest.
I just gotta say thank you for joining us. I've never been with a guest, so this is gonna be super fun.
Well, it's gonna be different. I am proud to be the first because you guys do a great job with your content. So very excited.
It's hot in this room. That is completely unrelated. If you guys hear crying or loud banging in the background, 2 of us are parents, and 1 of us is Lucas.
Hey.
So
I have a house to myself right now for another 2 hours, so I'm good.
My kiddos are playing the Switch, so I told them they could do that for about the next hour and a half, so they're pretty content.
Nice.
Sounds good. All right, so we talked about, this is off camera, but we talked about how you and I met.
Yeah.
Do you mind reliving that for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. So my boys compete in Dragon Duels, and I run a local that is centered around kids and teens. We do have some adults that play, but we had went down to Indianapolis for the regional to compete in the Dragon Duel. I was super excited. We brought 18 kids with us, which was exciting. And there's a kid that loves to play insects that's part of our club. And Patrick just happened to be watching the Dragon Duels. He seemed very interested to see how the kids were playing. And when I was talking with him saying, yeah, I've got an insect kiddo that he really wants an insect deck. And Patrick's like, well, wait, I know how to play crawlers really well. I can send you a list. And the list was extremely beneficial. I was able to put the deck together for him for Christmas. His parents were super excited because he loved the deck. And it's interesting because he got a top-tier Dino deck, but loved the Crawler deck so much, he prefers that over the Dino deck. It's amazing.
Well, I'm glad I could help. For clarity, I was enjoying watching it, one, because I scrubbed out. But two, I think making sure that the Dragon Duels and the kids are given a platform and an opportunity to speak to more players is just beneficial to the community as a whole to keep the game going.
Absolutely.
It's nothing creepy, so nobody says anything.
They're going to say it regardless, Patrick.
You're not wrong. But now, like, I've been able to do a couple of live streams with you, Crono.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And it's been a blast.
Yeah.
You've had have me on to advertise the Holiday Cup.
Yeah.
You had me on to do some showcases on Goki.
Mm-hmm.
I got to do another one, yesterday when we're recording this?
And I love how one person put it when I asked him, did you see that Goki build? Yes, that was wild. And that's from one of our top duelists. For him to say something like that just shows how good the build is. It's very well put together.
It helps a lot that I have Lucas, because he has, I have a really unique way of looking at the game, as you've said. So does he.
Yeah.
So we're able to kind of blend those styles, which is why a team is so helpful.
Yeah, you and I have such weird ways of playing to where we'll agree on one specific play, but then every branching play from there we just completely change, and we both see why the other one might have a good point on some of it.
Yeah. And it makes you a better player.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's picking up some kiddos.
Man, super professional podcast.
Hey guys, we're parents. This is how it is. You'll understand something when you have your own children, and you'll think back on this and be like, "Oh yeah, they're right." You really can't avoid having that in the background. So
no, it's unavoidable. So you're a dad. You run a locals to help kids get into the game. I know we're here to talk about budget month.
Budget!
But because you're another budget player that I know, but this is actually pretty cool. So what's it like running a locals for kids?
Oh, that's a great question. So we started the local because when we started to play competitively, we were getting destroyed. And the decks that we were playing, they were great strategies, but for much older formats. So I told my son, let's go ahead and see if we can start our own local. I'm an educator, so I knew that if I could get kids at my school plugged into Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's a very good chance they'd also come to the local. So what I do is I actually feel like I specialize in budget builds because I make the decks for the kids, and they use basically play money that they can earn in the classroom for good behavior, and they buy decks. And so then they come with those decks to our club, and they get a free donut, they get a free card for coming, and I was always on the hunt for if I could make a deck for $2 to $4, that would be competitive coming to our local. And our first year, we averaged around 8 kids. Then it went to 12. Then it went to 16. And before the pandemic, we were close to 25 kids every single week. It was absolutely fantastic. I was running out of space, actually. We went to our local library to set this up. And if anyone's listening, if you want to start your local, your libraries are free. If you let them know what you're wanting to do, you make sure that you keep the room clean that you're using. They're usually very good about supporting you because they want kids at the library. So it's been an absolute blast. And then when we were at the point where I knew the kids had developed enough that they could go to like a Dragon Duel and not need my assistance, because there's so many questions at first. Because being the person that runs it, I don't get to play very often. I'm usually the judge in many situations. My son, my oldest, is so good now. He also acts as a judge. He can tell the kids how the cards interact. But it's very busy. But anyways, taking kids to Dragon Duels, they fall in love with Yu-Gi-Oh! Even harder after they go to those regional experiences. And then to see them take that love for Yu-Gi-Oh! And then go to each other's homes, it's really rewarding, especially for kiddos who like, maybe they can't find a niche that fits them, and they find it with Yu-Gi-Oh! And that is really special for me because there's kids that usually wouldn't interact with each other unless they had this game to play. And because they have those set rules and there's a set way to play, they feel more confident talking with each other, and they form these fantastic friendships. So it's been super rewarding for me to do this. I've done this now for 5 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm always happy to hear about when new kids are getting into the game. Like I'm newer to playing competitive, but I played it when I was younger. I'm always happy when I hear new kids joining Yu-Gi-Oh! It's not a thing that's very easy to do.
It's not. It's a whole different language. I mean, my wife has tried several times to learn, and she has no idea what's happening. But
in her defense, neither does anybody else.
Yeah, most people don't understand what the cards say.
That's amazing. So you were talking about the $2 to $4 decks.
Yep.
This is something that Lucas and I were talking about making a video about. We just haven't done it yet. We actually, for our locals, because we also help run a game shop, we built, $15 budget decks?
We built the decks where, at actual, price-wise, they were probably less. They were definitely less than 10, but probably more around the 5 range.
Yes.
But because we built a main deck, extra deck, and side deck for it, and sold it for 15, where they get to keep the box and all the cards.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like I said, so we sold a Magispector, Crusadia, Dino Mist, and just now Crawler, and all of them have played and won games against either each other or decks that Pat and I have built. That you wouldn't think that a $15 deck could do that, but easily, yeah. You don't have to spend that much to build a deck that can win.
I love what you've said here. So I actually started a eBay business just to break even on buying cards, because at first I was paying for everything out of pocket. And when I was $250 in the hole, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't afford this. And so I started an eBay business. I break even on the cards. But the builds that I make, you brought up Dino Mist. Dino Mist Gadgets is insanely good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. You special summon your gold gadget, get out your silver, then you special one of the reds, then you get, a different gadget. And then you can even pendulum summon. You could have a board with Dino Mist, and the deck costs about $4 to $5 to make.
Yeah.
Because it's all common.
Yeah,
Say that again.
Dino Mist is super cheap because it's all common.
Yeah.
Yes.
We built a guy. We built the Crusadia deck and probably spent $5-6 on it, and it even had up to Equimax and things.
Yes, absolutely.
OTK strategies work, and they're pretty cheap.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's what the Yu-Gi-Oh community needs so much. That's why I love you guys are doing a budget feature. If we're going to get people into the game, they need a cheap price point to come in at. And those kind of decks that you just mentioned, because I love Crusadia. It's one of my budget builds I sell online to break even on the club. Crusadia is really good, and you just need the main archetype to get it going. And then you can throw in some great staples like you guys showcased in your video in order for it to really do well. I think that's huge for the community that they can come in, play something easy, and it's easy to teach. That's the other key thing with these. That's what I love about budget builds.
Like a great thing for Crusadia that they could easily do, spend not even like 20 cents and buy 3 kaijus, like 3 of the really high-powered kaijus, and just let them have that because you don't care.
Yeah, and then you go for the OTK, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jizukiru is dirt cheap. Raiden is dirt cheap. Like, there's plenty of good ones. Gamma Seal's $1. Like, you could find kaijus.
Running like 6 kaijus, and you could run it with like kaiju waterfront even, and then just plan on beating theirs and keeping a kaiju on your side because you get to special summon it for free.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Gamma Seal gives you negations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, with budget month, so now that we're finally moving into the actual topic, budget is very difficult to play. It's very hard to get the top tier strategies. But Lucas was there for the creation of this video, and you got early access to How to Yu-Gi-Oh! The Budget Player's Guide.
Yeah.
Yes.
What did you think of it?
I thought it was great. I really like how you set up all the steps that you need to take in order for a player to properly enter the game. Especially, this is your starting budget. Here's what you're going to use with part of that budget. Making sure that you spend a lot initially on either a starter deck or a core that makes sense. Then after that, you go ahead and use that money the next month with the same budget, making sure that you save it for staples that might be coming out that are huge for your deck. I thought you did a very nice job really detailing what to do and then even organizing so that, players can understand, well, here's how you get other value out of the cards you're not going to use for the build that you started with. So I thought you did a very nice job with the breakdown of here's your budget, here's what you do with the budget, and then here's how you're going to excel with it. I thought that was very well done.
Yeah.
That took a long time scripting.
It really did.
Guys, yes.
I'm glad you like that, but the hard part is like it was difficult to choose the budget because if I chose 100, I probably wouldn't have built Goki that way.
No.
Probably would have been a little bit more aggressive.
It's also 100 is kind of unrealistic for a good amount of people, just because it doesn't sound like a lot for a month, but for some people, like that is an exceeding amount just to have extra money.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's $1,200. That's $1,200 a year.
Yeah.
And that's a ton of cash coming from the dad side of things, because I always tell people when they're like, man, your decks are really good, but if you just added this, $50 card or this $60 card, it would be great. And I'm like, guys, I'm a dad. I've got 4 kiddos that I got to feed. We don't have that kind of money to dedicate to the game. We just don't.
And that's something that we actually addressed in the Budget Player's Guide, so that people are able to maximize their investment.
Yes.
Like, a great example is that, Patrick, you've told me so many times, you bought Infinite Imperms when they were at 20.
Yeah.
Specifically because you knew they were going to be good cards. Like, buy those cards when they are very cheap. That way, when you know they go back up, because they will, you have them.
Yep. I got Ash Blossoms when they were like 10s.
Yeah.
And now they're all 15.
Yeah. And I love how you said, and I think this would be great for you guys if you even did like a market watch on a regular basis, where you talk about the market is flooded. You mentioned that in your video. And I thought that's so key. I have another a friend of mine who I talk to, and he gives me very similar advice. He's like, the market is flooded right now. This is your best time to pick this up. So you, in your video, brought up the Tri-Brigade card. That card is now, I went and looked it up. It's $22, and you were talking about buying it when it was $5. I mean, you got to make sure you seize that opportunity. If not, it's all going to jump up.
And a lot of that is just reading the cards and understanding what makes a powerful card.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of players don't know how to do that, especially if they're new, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So when Orcust was first released, as an example, I read the cards and I thought, this deck is going to be insane. And no one around me believed me.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, because I built it in December, I think, of 2018. Midway through 2019, it was the best deck.
To where now their best main deck monster is still banned, even though Patrick calls for its limit every year. Every
ban list.
Yeah.
Bring back my boy. On Crono's stream, he said, "Why do you think Harp Horror didn't come back to 1?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Because Konami fears my power."
Yeah, I mean, it was hilarious. It was such a classic moment. He's like, "Well, me."
Like, I mean, that's in the same way. So recently, me and Patrick built an Endymion deck. I specifically said I wanted to build it as Endymion as possible, not like Magician Endymion or Odd Eyes Endymion or something. And I see it is a powerful deck, but it just has so many easy choke points that, like, I wanted Electromite to come off specifically just so that way I can go, all right, its choke points kind of went down by like half.
Yeah. And I think that's the hard part with budget. You're going to have more choke points because the cards aren't as good.
Yeah.
But that's where the staples, especially the ones you guys talk about in your video, are so useful. Especially Kaijus. I mean, Kaijus solve so many issues when it comes to the game. Like Dragoon especially. You know,
what's a Dragoon to a Kaiju?
Card, I just took it out with my 25-cent card. I love that feeling.
My favorite thing that I've done to Patrick and to other players at our locals that everyone forgets that I can do, but I love it, because I play dinosaurs. When I search off a card, I search off of Oviraptor. They always forget. I have Dogoron in my main deck because he's a dinosaur kaiju.
Yes, I love it. Yes, absolutely.
So they're just like, oh yeah, I forgot you had that card.
Yep.
Every time. It 100% of the time, he goes, I'm searching Dogoron. I go, oh yeah, that's a thing.
Like, Patrick's made this gigantic board, and he's like, it's unbreakable. I'm going to search Dogoron. And you broke it somehow.
And there it goes. Budget staples are important. But, like, during the showcase last night, he tried to choke point me out, and I still got through and did everything.
Oh yeah, because he was hitting the right stuff against you, but you still found a way to power through. Yeah, absolutely.
And if you build a budget deck with a clear mindset, this is what my goal is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to achieve this goal as often as possible. The deck is going to have better opportunities to do that.
Yeah.
And that's just making wise investments, because there are really powerful penny cards.
Oh, absolutely there are. Yes.
Yeah. There's a reason why I very much enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! Of that old cards aren't out of a rotation for our standard formats. Like, I love that fact.
Me too.
Like,
it lets you play whatever you want.
Exactly. Like, a card that came out 10 years ago, like Smoke Grenade of the Thief, wasn't good. Then Infernobles broke it, and they went, well, this really old card needs to be banned now.
Mm-hmm.
It was always a good card.
Yeah, but
it was just...
It didn't have an archetype that made it so broken
unfair.
That they needed to ban it.
Yeah. So, Crono, what budget decks are you playing right now?
Oh, great question. So, There's several budget decks that I enjoy, and even some that I've seen others dabble with that I've been messing around with. But the one that I use consistently is Crusadia Mech Knight. Now, I'm going to preference this. So I got the purple Mech Knight card when it was $5. And that was the most expensive card in the deck at the time. And then I can't remember the other one. It's a level 5, but it gives you stuff.
Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
Yes, Blue Sky. Thank you. So Crusadia, the entire build is extremely cheap. I'm pretty sure it's right around that $50 mark at this point, even with the Nightfall or purple Nightfall cards in there. But it does very well. In fact, people get so annoyed with me when because I'm a control player. If I can't OTK you, I'm going to control the pace of the duel so that you're playing what I want to do. So I get the trap set up where it negates card effects, monster effects that Mech Knights use. Oh my
World Legacy
God,
Whispers?
that didn't work. Oh, say that again?
Oh, World Legacy Secrets.
Yes. It puts in so much work because you get the Mech Knight that's the level 8, and you just keep moving it to the column that an effect monster's in, and it's super annoying to deal with. And then you typically have another negation with Equimax, and now suddenly they have to play a more slower-paced game, which I personally prefer. So it's a super great build.
I believe you're thinking Indigo Eclipse.
Yes, that's the one. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we actually have the person that we sold the Crusadia deck to. He's a good friend of ours now at the shop. He comes in every week, loves playing. We helped him, gave him a few. Patrick gave him a few of the Mech Knights for like way cheaper than what they actually are worth. And he made that deck to where now it will beat my dinosaur deck on a good day. And I'm just well, I can't do anything now.
Yeah, it's really effective. Especially if you can use the Crusadia quick play card that makes your Crusadia monsters unaffected by card effects.
He abuses that card like there's no tomorrow.
It's common. It's great.
I know. No, like I'm annoyed because it works so well.
Oh, I hear that often. I went to a local one time. It was probably about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. But I was playing that build, and I didn't even have the Mech Knights in yet. It was pure Crusadia Kaiju. And I'm going against these builds that are way more expensive. And I remember one guy saying to me after the game, "Darn it, I can't find a way past this deck." And I'm like, "I know, and it's only $40."
Well, and one that he also uses, he just doesn't know when to use it the best time, is Crusadia Testament. Like, if he learns how to use that card well, I don't know if I will consistently be able to beat him.
Yeah, Testament is dirty. It's Pot of Greed on steroids. That card is so good.
Well, it's not only Pot of Greed, it's also just saying, you don't get to react to my effects. You make all of your Crusadia monsters spell speed 4.
Yeah, it's really, really good if used the right way. I agree.
What were you saying, Pat?
Oh no, you said you took the words out of my mouth.
But yeah, no, like I love playing with him, but I have a less than $50 deck that I very much enjoy. Patrick's seen it. I played it today and decked out another guy because it's fun to do that. I play Time Thieves.
Oh yeah, Time Thief's a great one.
So it's Time Thief Danger, but I don't use the expensive dangers.
Well, you use Nessie and
I use Nessie and Jackalope, but I use one of each. That's like not even 10. That's like $10, I think.
Right.
Yeah, the rest of the deck is dirt cheap.
Yeah, no, like I use 2 Mothman, 3 Chupacabra because level 4s are all I want.
Yep.
And then I use those 2, Spiral Super Agent, and Raid Raptor. One of the new Raid Raptors that special summons itself. Strangleanius.
Yes.
Like, that's all I use, and this deck consistently will find ways to beat others. I find it best against control decks because, like I played against Patrick, I keep stealing the cards he needs in the moment.
Sheer dumb luck is a heck of a skill.
When he's looking for Cursed Eldlands so hard, and then I steal it off the top of his deck, and he just goes, "Why?"
Twice.
I played 3 traps in this, or I played 3 spells in this deck. How do you keep hitting the spells?
Yeah.
But
It's
Awesome.
it's a thing.
I so much love playing it because it is not good. It is not a good deck. But it'll have some games where it just suddenly just goes, well, I won because I haven't let you play the game.
Yeah. Speaking of a deck that doesn't let you play the game, how about Tenyi? Tenyi's a great card to build. Patrick, I know you have a Tenyi build that you've posted, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
I played memes in that deck.
What, you mean like your big koala?
Yeah, I played Master of Oz.
Yeah.
Oh my
Which
goodness.
it's so funny.
Like the ideal card is Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. We all know that. But when someone drops Master of Oz on you instead of that, you just go, well, this just makes me sad now.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I'm just trying to give them a koala.
It is a fun build, though, and it's also very easy to play, very easy to teach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Always.
It teaches you everything.
I'll say that again.
It teaches you everything.
Yes.
It link summons. It can exceed summon.
Mm-hmm.
It synchro summons. The only thing it doesn't do is pendulum summon and fusion summon, I guess.
Yeah.
But, it does control stuff. It's very cheap.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it can. Oh my gosh, it can kill you. Like if you build it to go second, you just throw some sphere modes in, just cause.
Absolutely, the whole deck specials. Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Sphere Mode is a great one. You know, when that was reprinted, again, we come back to the timing. You know, the market watch is so important when you get the right kind of staple. I love Sphere Mode because of the board removal that it does. And then my favorite play, you brought up Sphere Mode in Tenyi. I use the Sphere Mode. Then after that, I go through all my plays. I've got a great board, and then by the next turn, if I've got enough to interrupt on them, then I slap down a Vanity's Ruler. You know, and all of a sudden things are way different, or even a Vanity's Fiend. And, you know, the whole deck then functions so differently for people once you get that kind of combination going. So Sphere Mode, when it was reprinted, I think it was like $3. Unfortunately, it's already jumped up to $10. But again, making sure you get the cards at the right time, guys. And if you're not sure how to do that, find someone at your local who pays attention. I guarantee you're going to find somebody. Somebody's going to know in some group that you follow.
Hi, Patrick.
My advice to that is know what cards you want and track it.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure if this card's going to be good, ask someone about the effect, not about the card in particular. Because if you said, hey, have you read Tribergrade Fractal? And everyone just looks at you like you're an idiot. But if you just say it's effect, is this a good effect? Everybody's going to say yes. So I was like, okay, this is objectively a good effect.
Right.
It needs like one card and it becomes insane. I'm going to pick it up.
Absolutely.
And then Kit came out, and now Fractals are 25, and Lyrilusk is good, which is weird.
I hate Bird Up.
I built it to go second.
You did. You did.
No, that's true. You guys brought up Pendulum earlier as well. Now, I really do like Pendulum for budget. and a great 10-cent common that should be in all Pendulum because it's not a hard once per turn, it's a soft once per turn, is Timebreaker Magician.
Yes.
This card rocks. You normal summon it. You bait out something to stop it because you can target something on their side and banish it. So it's a great bait for a negation. Then after that, if it leaves the field, it goes to your Pendulum Zone. You set up your skills, you Pendulum summon what you want to do, and then you can do the effect again. I mean, it's really, really good. And so Pendulum Odd Eyes builds, I think, are perfect for players that want to play budget. Like, for example, Harmonizing Magician, that came out about a year ago, just about over a year and a quarter ago. It's 5 cents.
Oh, yeah.
Pendulum Sorcerer, that's a dime. Then you have Time Gazer that goes with the deck that's only a nickel. I mean, there are some really good staples that you can get for Odd Eyes Pendulum that's very effective.
Like you said, Time Gazer Magician and Chronograph Sorcerer is a great addition that in every single Pendulum deck we have built, because we built Magispector, which we sold, we built Dynomist, which we sold, and we built this Endymion deck. All three of them use Chronograph and Time Gazer because getting that free body and an 8 scale if you need it is so helpful.
Dynomist does not.
That's right. Dynomist doesn't. But that's because
it's.
But there's
not
a thing saying we couldn't use it. They could use it if they build a machine, like if they have a machine link monster that can use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it is an extender. Yeah, absolutely.
Extenders are nice.
Oh, yes, especially for budget. I mean, what's great about the Magician build especially, so let's get out Harmonizing Magician. You can then get out Timebreaker, and then you can make Arcanite Magician. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I know, Patrick, that drives you crazy, so please correct me if I said it wrong.
It's Arcanite.
Oh, there we go. But it's the Magician that when it's brought out, it gets 2 counters, and then you can pop 2 cards on the field. That card is 20 cents. That is a great card.
I think it's because Arcanite is a level 7.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it bad.
Yes. And it's perfect for synchroing in that situation. You can do the same thing for the synchro monster that was in Virtual World. I'm trying to think. It's the level 9. You banish a tuner from the grave, and you can pop a card. What is that?
Shen or Vermilion?
Vermilion. Thank you.
Yeah.
So you could use Vermilion. Now you might be thinking, "Ooh, wait. What if you don't have anything in the grave?" I have a build that is Nordic Pendulum. And it works. It works great.
I need to see this.
Oh, it's insane. Yeah. I actually, guys, if you ever head to my channel, I have something decks for your local that are budget. So it's actually there if you ever want to see it. But you can then pop a card by getting rid of the tuner that you've got. That was actually a Nordic monster. I mean, you could easily take that Pendulum build and do something with it. Oh, you guys still there?
Yeah, sorry. Fixing something.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's, that's wild. That's just a wild idea.
But it actually works because the reason I made it to begin with is lots of the kids needed a bigger boss monster than the Odd Eyes Dragon that was there. So I thought, oh my gosh, I can put Nordic in this. And Nordic is dirt cheap too. Literally, every single common is 15 cents or less. And then you've got the Link monster, which is 25 cents or less, depending on where you're buying from. So, and I only run about 10 to 12 Nordic monsters. The rest are Pendulum cards. So it's extremely, extremely easy to make, and it's very budget-friendly. Super fun.
Oh, yeah. And weird Pendulum lists are fun to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And again, if you guys are wanting to know, it's easy to teach. So it's simple to normal summon your Nordic, Then you go ahead and go into your Link 1. You get rid of 3 cards. Get out your tuner with your 2 other Nordics. Super, super simple. So
summon Loki.
Yep, exactly. Yes.
It's pretty crazy. Lucas, did your thing die?
Oh.
There you go.
There he is.
I was like, where did he go?
Yeah.
My cut out for a minute. I couldn't hear you guys for a minute.
You're good.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. No, I caught back in with the end of that Nordic talk.
Yeah, Nordic Pendulum.
That sounds interesting.
It's cheap, but it honestly does work, and you'd be surprised some of the decks that I've beaten with it. So, like you were saying earlier, Lucas, sometimes you take down a deck that you wouldn't anticipate.
Yeah.
For example, in our online tournaments that we do, we actually had a player using the Pendulum Nordic deck, and he got all the way to the final match. Because most of the people he was running into were playing anti-meta. Oh my gosh, the deck grinded so well against those other builds that he found himself in the championship round and stole a game from Invoked Shadal. It was wild.
It wasn't me playing
wild.
it.
Patrick.
I missed it.
He said it wasn't him playing it.
Shadal invoked.
Oh, well, the player that was playing is extremely good. He's consistently won many of our online builds. I think he just happened to have not the best hand. Because he ended up taking the next 2 games extremely convincingly. Like, we're talking quick. But for that player, it was so exciting for him to have that opportunity with a very budget-friendly build, to go and really do something special with it in that tournament.
That's awesome.
So one Pendulum thing that I always enjoy doing that Patrick and I have put into a lot of our decks that seems like fun is all the Magician cards to make Supreme King Dragon Zark.
Oh, yes, that card works, yes!
Like,
it's so funny.
Chronograph. So if you get a Fusion, Xyz, Synchro, and Pendulum Dragon in the graveyard, you just make Zark.
Yeah. And
or on the extra deck face up.
Well, it's a 5-cent common. I mean, it's fantastic.
I just double checked it. Double Iris is 50 cents. Purple Poison's $1.
Yep.
Black Fang's 50 cents, and White Wing's $0.25.
Yes, $0.25. Yes.
Like they're all.
And then you just need Chronograph.
Cheap. And Chronograph is only like 10 cents.
Oh yeah.
So
super cheap. Super cheap.
So you're spending
look at that.
You spend like $6 and you got that core to play with.
Yeah.
And then you just pick up a Star Pendulum Graph, which means that it adds more.
Yeah.
And not only that, how about Pendulum Sorcerer, guys? That also got a reprint in that same set we're talking about. That card is like a dime to 20 cents. Pop your skills. If it's Purple Poison, you're popping something on their field. And, I mean, there's a lot of options out there. I actually saw a Pendulum build, Odd Eyes Pendulum. But for a hand trap, they put in Rainbow Karibo. Because they knew that they were trying to play Zodiac against them. Because they stopped the Xyz monster from attacking directly, they took the game. It was amazing. Absolutely
Keeping
amazing.
Zeus from hitting the field changes everything.
Yes.
Oh, it can now.
And that's a great... If we're worried about those Xyz monsters doing damage, Rainbow Karibo's a great one to have it as an extra deck option if you're wanting something budget.
Absolutely.
Or if you're wanting that too, you could run Sphere Karibo.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Flip them face down. Hey, look at that. Now you just don't get to Xyz summon on top of it anyway.
That is a great idea. I love that idea, Lucas. Super smart.
It's... When you're playing budget decks, though, like, you have to know what cards that you can't afford.
Yes.
Are blowout cards against you. Mm-hmm. So, like, if you play a budget deck and you go against somebody and they summon Zeus, they win.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a lot of answers to something like that.
Yeah.
But if you could stop them from even making it, instead of side decking for the card itself, you side deck for the things to get it. So, like, if you're playing a hyper budget deck and you lose hard to Ultimate Conductor Tyrant, then you would have things like Book of Moon, where you're just like, that card doesn't mean anything now.
Absolutely.
Or Compulse.
Or Compulse by...
Yeah.
There's options. And it's just about maximizing the little things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and really looking at what the archetype has to offer. You know, thinking about, okay, what kind of interactions does this archetype bring me that I can then use to my advantage if I'm in these difficult matches? So, for example, Eldritch is huge right now, right?
Yeah.
So I have a build that I made for my daughter. She wanted a real fancy princess-like deck. So I took Trickstar, Melodious, and combined it with Golden Castle. It works. I have it in a video for my Budgets for Your Locals, for my videos that I've made. I banish Eldritch several times in the videos, and I won 2 matches against Eldritch with the deck. It was awesome. And the most expensive card in the deck is the Hexy Trunade, or however you say that.
Hex Trunade?
Yes. And so, when I got that card, though, it was only 50 cents. I mean, it's shot up since then, but I mean, it was super cheap when I got it. And that deck has put in so much work, and it does so many different things, because the Melodious Fusion monster, it's a quick effect, and you can banish on either player's turn. So you just wait till they send that Eldritch, and then you banish it. It's super, super good.
Yeah, and that's where, like, knowing what the deck can do.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to use Goki as an example, because you've seen it.
Yeah.
How much advantage did I maintain when I was doing that exhibition?
Yeah, and I think that was amazing. See, your budget build is, to me, far superior, because you had a full hand almost the entire time.
Yeah.
That I don't know how to do. That's amazing that you have so much advantage in your hand and on the field. I mean, that's just amazing to watch.
That, though, with that effect, I think that's more of just how Goki monsters work, more than that. Because
I'm using that as the example.
Yeah.
As Goki's biggest strength, outside of Power Load Ogre being really unfair, is its advantage.
Yeah.
Its advantage is just ridiculous.
Yeah, if you can get... Because it's always been, if you can get 2 Gokis on the field, you have full combo.
Yeah.
And any deck that can just say, I got 2 cards on field, so I just go off, it's powerful.
Oh, absolutely it is. Yes.
We've been at this for 45 minutes now. We're probably going to be wrapping up here soon.
Sounds good.
Yeah, no, totally get that. What about Cyber Dragon, guys? They've just had a reprint with the legendary
that is true. Yeah, they got a bunch of their expensive main deck got shot down a bit.
Absolutely. I mean,
it's probably at $100 deck.
Well, you got the Link 2 that's now a quarter, or it's a quarter.
Yeah,
it's a common.
Cyber Dragon Infinity's $1. I mean, that's really good.
That's another like 50 cents to $1 for Nova too.
Exactly. Yes. So you have all these great staples that have just been reprinted, and the other main starters of the decks also got reprinted. And you guys always want to watch those of you listening for those reprints, because that's when you're going to see everything start to come down in price. And some of the other key staples, they're around $2 to $3 right now, and they used to be so much more. So, like,
with the exception of Galaxy Soldier.
Yes. Oh, the Galaxy Soldier is by far that card is just expensive.
Yeah.
But you can still make a really good build even without it. I still think you can do stuff with that deck to where you can definitely have quite a bit of fun with it. Now, I'm not saying it will be top tier, but it will be fun. And especially if you're going to a local, because not everyone going to your local is going to have the top tier deck. You're going to have definite players that will be, but I think you're still going to have plenty of other players who don't have that kind of budget. They're going to have something comparable to what you're playing.
Oh, yeah.
And if all else fails, Mystic Mindburn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or Grin Maju.
Oh, yeah. Grin Maju is a great one.
Or Goki.
Yes, Goki.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, so, to wrap things up here, Crono, how are you liking Budget Month? And what did you think of the month as a whole?
Oh, I love Budget Month. Especially because of what we've talked about in this video. You guys can tell this is a dear subject to my heart. Because the biggest issue getting people into the game, I think there's two things. One, people just don't know about the options that you have with Yu-Gi-Oh! And then two is the budget. I mean, it's very hard to get into the game and have a way to compete. So giving players a guide, especially like you do in your latest video, which you're going to be publishing soon, that is super helpful. And then especially like the top 10 budget cards that you guys go through, that's also really beneficial for the player base because it gives them an opportunity to build something that's going to be competitive, and then they're going to have fun. So that's what's important here. The game is about having fun, and you guys are creating great options for players to know where to start, especially with the structure deck options that you guys talked about. It just gives them a lot of different choices to think about that's going to help them have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm really glad that we were actually able to do something the opposite way, because you've done a lot for publicity for my channel, and I really appreciate it. So if you guys haven't checked him out, make sure to follow him on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, all of it. All his links will be in the description. Crono, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to Lucas and I.
Oh, yeah. We very much appreciate it.
Well, it was an honor, guys. I love talking Yu-Gi-Oh! And again, I can't hype your own channel enough. You guys do a really great job, and I love the idea of having a team aspect because you both you're definitely knowledgeable about the game, and more people need to know about your guys' channel because it's really great content.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting praise.
Well, Patrick, it's really good. You too, Lucas. You guys do a great job.
Thank you very much.
All right. Well, we'll do the outros, I guess, after this. So, Crono, anything you want to say to the audience?
I'm just so thankful that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is still going on. And the biggest thing, guys, is if you want to find budget builds, they are out there. It does not have to be a high financial ceiling. There's stuff on Fusion YGO's channel here. There's stuff on my channel. There's lots of different things that you could go hunting for in order to come into the game and have fun. And make sure you find the right kind of local with the right kind of people that will build you up rather than tear you down. That's important too.
That is absolutely super important. And that is something that, like, Patrick and I are both working at the game shop that we go to. That's something that we always work towards, is making sure people enjoy themselves while they're there.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys in a second. So, see you soon.
What a neat guy, right?
Yeah.
I told you Crono's a nice dude.
So I had never met Crono before this, by the way. We just talked about a bunch of stuff while Patrick was all setting up, and dude, he is such an awesome guy.
Super
I
chill.
love talking to him.
I'm no longer the old guy in the community.
I know you aren't.
No,
But
Crono is great. And it's nice. Like, one of the reasons that he and I get along so well is because we're both dads.
Yeah.
So,
and then I get along just because I get along with you, so it's easy to get along with him.
yeah, we're similar people. He's just a lot nicer than I am.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Not even a question. Yeah, so if you guys, if you want to check out somebody that really knows his stuff when it comes to budget, check out Crono. His links are in the description for YouTube and for his Twitch. His live streams are super fun, and every once in a while, you'll see little old me popping in there and saying hey to Crono, because I do a lot of stuff with him. He does a lot of advertising for this channel, so I am really happy to be able to give back to him.
We want to help him out as much as he wants to help us out.
And he's been a huge bolstering. This is unrelated to this, but this is my shout out to Grunt. Congratulations, you finally got that dress, dude.
Nice.
In one of his live streams, Grunt was talking about how he's always the bridesmaid but never the bride, and I told him as a joke, in jest, I'm just like, don't worry, you're gonna get that dress. He finally won a tournament there. That's what we were talking about. So in the chat, you can see, like, if you watch back his archive, in the chat, you'll just see me on there just go, get that dress, and Crono is just dying on stream, so it was fun. So congratulations to you, Grunt. You earned it. And Crono, amazing
Thank you
content.
so much for showing up on us.
Thank you for all of your advertisement for the Holiday Cup, for all the random shenanigans that go through my brain.
And in case we didn't throw this out there when we do, because we're planning on doing the Roy.
Right. So we haven't announced. This is our first official announcement. Like, it's been on a podcast before, and it's been on a live stream, kind of. Before. So we have now invited 2 content creators for the Yu-Gi-Oh!
Grand Prix.
The Yu-Gi-Oh! Grand Prix, which is for small content creators of 5,000 or fewer subscribers, to compete under different stipulations in a double loss elimination tournament.
Hosted by us.
Now, we are not competing.
No, we are going to be commentating over every match, though.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see all the matches in their entirety. You're going to hear Lucas and I giving banter back and forth about why we like to torture the community.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're coming up with all the stipulations, meaning that all these content creators have to think on the fly, and you get to see inside their brain, not just as what they are, who they are as people or players, but also how they deck build. And that's why we invited Crono, because I'm sure he's going to bring some
spicy budget deck that we would never see coming.
Right. So you may see me reaching out to different content creators. I'm okay with Twitch streamers. I just want it to be less than 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. Or followers on Twitter. So we're... Twitch.
Twitter.
Why did I say Twitter?
I don't know what you said, Twitter. You got Twitter on the brain.
I got Twitter on the brain.
Anyway, guys, but... Again, thank you, Crono, for showing up for our live stream or for our podcast. We would love to have him on again, but just once again, let us know. Put those things in the comments.
Who do you want to see us talk to? Bard of the Cards is an open conversation forum where we want to talk to people about things that are near and dear to their heart.
Yeah.
Budget is something that's super near and dear to his heart. So,
and then just like we said at the beginning of the video, let us know also if you want some more podcasts. We'd be more than open to creating any type of podcast. Just let us know what.
I think we had too much fun with this podcast over Discord.
We absolutely doing Discord will make this so much easier for other people, but I like doing our in-person ones for when it's just you and me talking. But hopefully we can do some more Discord ones with other people. I would love to see that. And
I think we've hit all the bases.
Yeah.
We are bad at podcasts.
We really are.
We'll get better, probably. No, we won't.
We will get better as we go. It'll just take us a couple years.
You know what Reed always says?
Huh?
I'm going to have to cut out 45 minutes of you guys just rambling about nothing.
That's just us. That's just us. We can't help that.
Our podcast will just be us ramblings with Fusion White.
Anyway, but again, thank you, Crono. Thanks, everyone, for watching. And until later.
Next time, lads, good fun. Have luck.